including coach and player press conferences. Welcome back into our NBA TV studios. This is Game Time live at the Finals 2020, presented by YouTube TV. I'm Kristen Ledlow, and in just a few minutes, I'll be joined by our Hall of Famers, Grant Hill, Gary Payton, Isiah Thomas. But first, we've got to get to the latest from Orlando, as Anthony Davis is listed as probable to play in this game with a right heel contusion, but he does say he'll be fine. Coach Frank Vogel did address the injury ahead of the game.
Yeah, he was just battling through, the heel. He was struggling to move a little bit, but toughed it out. And, we'll see how he feels.
He's a warrior, man. We know the nicks and bumps and bruises he's played throughout the whole season. And, we got to pick it up for him.
He just re-aggravated it and went out at the end of the first. And, just kind of just wore off and just got back to normal. Just kept moving around, just trying not to sit down, get that adrenaline going. And I was able to keep going, keep playing.
How do you live with make or miss at this stage of the season?
I won't let a play here or a play there, change my outlook on the game or how I play the game. If you just look at the play, I was able to find one of our shooters at the top of the key for a wide open three to win a championship. And I trusted him, we trusted him, and it just didn't go. You live with that.
And our Jared Greenberg is in the bubble covering the finals for NBA TV with our NBA champion, Steve Smith, neither of which had to unpack bags or rebook flights after Friday night, I have been told. But, guys, it looks like the Lakers have made a lineup change, huh?
That is correct. We will get to the Anthony Davis story here in a moment. But, Kristen, the breaking news, as first reported by Shams Charania of the Athletic and Stadium Smitty, is that Alex Caruso is going to enter the starting lineup for the first time in the playoffs. The guard will replace Dwight Howard. Clearly, Frank Vogel sizing down. Before we get to the strategic angle of this, what does this mean? What does this signal to both the Lakers and the Heat that such a significant lineup change is being made with Caruso going in the first five?
Well, for me, it just signals, I'm throwing out all the X's and O's, is LeBron James is saying, I'm guarding Jimmy Butler. And it might not go that way, it might be Anthony Davis, but that's what it signals to me. I've been around this game a long time. You're going to go that small with Alex Caruso. I have nothing against Alex Caruso, but when you go that small, that tells me LeBron James is guarding Jimmy Butler. Not that LeBron James can't guard Bam, and Anthony Davis on Jimmy Butler, but you're saying to me, LeBron James wants to guard Jimmy Butler at some point of the game. But I really think at the start of this game, LeBron is saying, I want this matchup on both ends, and let's see who's going to win it.
You just have to wonder, though, if the Heat look at this and say, they're panicking.
Well, I think the Heat look at this is everybody has counted them out. No one thought before, even before the pandemic, we had a break, that the Heat would be in the finals. You start to question and look around and say, hey, I know around the second round, I say Heat going to the finals. I got a chance to say that on Game Time. The reason why is they're tough, they're well prepared, they play a brand of basketball. It's just not high pick and rolls. It's five guys moving. And then also, they're the most conditioned team in this bubble, and this atmosphere is for them. If you were talking about the Lakers playing the Heat, you flying from Miami back to L.A., for their young guys that haven't been through this, to me, this goes into like this young guys, this is youth basketball. They're used to this. There's no crowd. There's no flying around. There's not that many distractions for these young guys.
So let's get into the X's and O's of this. What does Caruso, you obviously said the matchups here, but what does this do for this game in terms of the Lakers going small?
I think for them is they want to get out in transition. I mean, they got back to it last game, but they lost that game, and they want to play faster. They want to look and say, we want to play downhill. We're going to have 3 or 4 guys trying to play downhill, and that's what it looks at for me from an X's and O's standpoint offensively for the Lakers. But on the defensive end, I'm going to go back. I can't wait to see the start of this game. It is saying LeBron James saying, hey, Jimmy, it's me versus you throughout this entire game, and that's what we want to see.
It'll be interesting because in this matchup, LeBron either now has to guard Jimmy or he has to guard Bam Adebayo. Do the Heat try and get LeBron James into foul trouble?
Well, I think Jimmy Butler plays this game. I mean, I look at what he's been doing. He's been playing downhill. He's averaging, I think, 23 drives, 25 drives a game since game one. The next closest guy is LeBron at only at 11. So Jimmy Butler's mindset has to stay the same. We all understand LeBron James is a great player, but one-on-one, if he's got his way a little bit in that last game against Anthony Davis, he figured it out. He's not going to change. He's going to still play downhill, and they're going to still have motion.
Real quick, any concern about the heel for Anthony Davis?
I hope not. I hope, I'm not a doctor. I hope he's okay, because I can tell you one thing. If you're the Miami Heat, you really don't care. If he steps on that court, he's 100%.
Right. All right. Well, we'll have much more coming up here from Orlando. I'll have a chat with both Frank Vogel and Eric Spoelstra. Smitty will continue to break down ahead of this Game 6 as we send it back to Atlanta and Kristen Ledlow.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. And as promised, our Hall of Famers, Grant Hill, Gary Payton, Isiah Thomas, and another opportunity for LeBron James in a closeout scenario with Game 5 becoming the first in the finals that he had ever lost. But Grant, you were the only one days ago who said that we would be back here Sunday. But do you see LeBron dropping back-to-back closeout opportunities?
Well, Kristen, I must say, I watched a lot of film, but I also read Gary Payton's Players Tribune article talking about for real.
A beautifully colorful article, by the way, GP.
No, it was.
Not suitable for work.
Yeah, not suitable, not for everyone, but I think it illustrates what the culture of Miami is all about. And so moving along, Game 6. I'm not ready to give you my prediction just yet, but I will say that it's interesting, sort of the recent events here, the adjustments the Lakers are making. This Heat team really came out and clicked on all cylinders. They rebounded well. They were able to limit their turnovers. They had a collective team effort, obviously highlighted by Jimmy Butler and his amazing play. And so, I think we'll guard Jimmy, but also think defending that dribble handoff with Duncan Robinson, that caused a lot of problems for the Lakers. And now with 4 perimeter guys out there, and you take a Dwight Howard or JaVale McGee, who hasn't played in this series much, but if you take a Dwight out, now you can switch that action. And so defensively, I think it's to neutralize Jimmy a little bit, but I think it's also getting your best defenders, perimeter defenders on the floor to try their best. Now, what are you going to do with Adebayo? If LeBron's not guarding Butler and on Adebayo, I expect Adebayo then to play better. He hasn't been great, the last few games. I think regardless, he's due for a big game for Miami. So I like the chess match going on right now, and it'll be interesting to see how both teams respond, Kristen.
And I love that you mentioned GP's article. Gary, how much do you credit the Heat's culture with this comeback mentality?
Well, I credit it a lot because the simple fact is I knew this is what it was. I knew that Pat Riley was probably up in there talking to all the players. And Spo is just like the same of a Pat Riley. He's just a littler Pat. And I knew that they were going to come back. They weren't going to be sitting low and saying, okay, this game is over and we're going to lay down. Butler has been saying it all year. Man, this is our culture. This is how we play. We're built for this. And I knew they weren't going to lay down. And I knew that they were going to come out and fight and just not give it to the Lakers. And me coming out with the article telling about what we did in 2006, it might even pump them up with it. And I think that they did a great job of coming out. And now I think they got the momentum. They got the Lakers changing their lineup to match up with their little guys coming off them picks with Hero and Robinson shooting the jumpers. I think now they got them at the point where they know that they have a chance now. And if they win tonight, it's gonna be hell on Tuesday.
Also in Game 5, LeBron James finishing with 40 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. He shot 71% from the field and played 41 of the possible 48 minutes. But the debate following was that of whether or not he should have taken the Lakers' last shot or passed it to his open teammate in Danny Green. As you take a look here, he and Jimmy Butler joining an elite list of those scoring at least 40 points on 70% from the field during the finals. Zeke, I've got to ask you, did LeBron make the right play down the stretch?
Absolutely. To me, he made the right basketball play. As you can see, when he drives right, he draws 4. Danny Green has a wide open shot. And, Smitty and I always talk about the pump fake being the best play in basketball. He definitely had time. He's got a defender running at him, shot fake, take one dribble. You got 6 seconds left, wide open shot, or you got KCP sitting over in the corner. LeBron James definitely, again, in my opinion, made the correct basketball play. Sometimes those shots fall, sometimes they don't. We've seen throughout history, whether it be, John Paxson, whether it be Dennis Johnson when he was playing with the Celtics, and I was at that game when Larry Bird, Dennis Johnson knocks it down. We saw in Phoenix where I think it was Horace Grant made the pass back out to Paxson. Paxson knocks the shot down. And, of course, the legendary shot that we always see, Jordan is double-teamed against Utah, kicks it out to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr knocks the shot down. So, great players during those particular times, they know they're going to draw a lot of attention. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they make the correct play. Their teammates have stepped up and made shots or missed shots.
Well,
but, on the other side, go ahead. On the other side of the ball.
You can give us the other side. Yeah, absolutely.
On the other side of the ball, defensively, Grant, Gary, we all know that our main objective is to take the ball out of the best player's hands at the end of the game, and don't let that player beat you, and we'll live with someone else beating you. I thought Miami did the correct thing in their defensive assignments, and everything worked out well for the Heat.
And I by no means meant to interrupt you, Zeke, but we do have to take a quick break. Fortunately, we've got an hour and a half to get into all of this as our pregame coverage continues on NBA TV with 5-time NBA champ Derek Fisher joining us to discuss, the last title the Lakers franchise took home. And we're going to continue to look back on this historic matchup between LeBron James and Jimmy Butler.